Hello my good friends, welcome to the channel Digimon Explained. My name is Jesse and in this video I'd like to discuss a very interesting Digimon that already caught my eyes a while ago, not only because of its potential but also because the mystery behind the Digimon is one that has gotten me quite excited. I'm talking about the insect Digimon Morphomon. I would tell you already that we have here potentially one of the strongest insect Digimon in the Digimon universe, and with strength, I'm not necessarily talking in terms of raw power. This video will enlighten you. Morphomon is an insect Digimon based on the Morpho butterfly. When you check the wings of the Morpho and compare it to Morphomon's wings, you can see the similarities. The difference is that Morphomon has the butterfly wings as its ears and hands, wings which will move a lot depending on its mood. You see, Morphomon really is one of the kindest rookie Digimon out there. It has feelings of enjoyment for nature and has a carefree personality. It touches those who have seen it for the first time to determine whether or not they are safe, and it will follow them once it is satisfied with them being safe. So it does somewhat go to extreme length for a Digimon that actually doesn't really have offensive capabilities, aside of fluttering its scales. Scales which either have medicinal properties or can paralyze the body. Now that was the beautiful part of Morphomon. The sad part is that when we follow its story in Digimon Adventure Last Evolution Kizuna, Morphomon actually ceased to exist altogether. It's gone. It's dead. You see, Morphomon became Menoa Belucci's partner Digimon when she was just 9 years old. Menoa, who lived in Colorado and was a child prodigy. That caused many to look bad at her, so she felt alone. At 9, she got introduced to Morphomon and she took it everywhere with her. Morphomon became her go-to person, her companion. And at the age of 14, Menoa decided to move to New York when she was accepted to a university. When she told the news to Morphomon, she realized that it was disappearing. Morphomon disintegrated into data and ceased to exist. Due to the loss of her partner, a traumatized Menoa spent years studying Digimon trying to bring Morphomon back, but always was unsuccessful. She eventually managed to find Morphomon's data but was unable to bring it back. All instances of her trying to edit and restore it would result in failures. Everything would change for Menoa on the day an Aurora appeared and conferred the spark of life upon her attempts to recreate her lost partner Digimon. Its data suddenly reconfigured into its Digitama, into its Digi-Egg, so she became motivated as she claimed that Morphomon from within its Digitama telepathically told her to use its data to help save all the chosen children in the world. And in order to be successful, she reconfigured Morphomon's data, turning it into the artificial Digimon Eosmon, who was then mass reproduced to help in her goals of kidnapping the consciousness of every chosen child in the world. Eosmon, who was born with the ability to turn human consciousness into data. So, on the day the Aurora appeared, that is when Menoa began her Neverland plan. And that is how the champion Digimon Eosmon began using its power on chosen children who desired not to grow up or who desired that their childhood would never end. Eosmon is named after the Greek goddess of dawn, Eos. Pay attention, I did say goddess, but we are not talking about the Olympians like Zeus. Eos is a Titan goddess. Not really one of the more known Titans, but still one with an important role. Her role as the goddess of the dawn was to ascend up to heaven from Oceanus at the end of the night to announce the coming of the sunlight to all gods and mortals. Eosmon is an artificial Digimon that was created based on Morphomon, meaning that Morphomon wasn't officially given a proper natural Digivolution at the time of this video's release. So Eosmon is an artificial Digimon, and also the prevailing view that the final form of artificial Digimon goes up to Rookie was overturned due to the zeal of researchers in changing times. After all, Eosmon is a champion Digimon, one who became a completely different Digimon that has nothing to do with Morphomon anymore. That is because it became a Digimon with a code inside written by a human. And that changes a lot about the Digimon and its overall behavior and sometimes even its abilities. Let me get deeper on that. You see, Eosmon lacks emotions and moves only according to the instructions of the one who created it. Everything about its good or wicked behavior is controlled by another party. That is because the once insect Digimon was now created en masse to help Menoa in her goals of kidnapping the consciousness of every chosen child around the world so that they could live in Neverland. And speaking of, Neverland is an area in the digital world, a space in the digital world where Menoa and her Eosmon preserve the stolen consciousness of chosen children from around the world as part of her plan to give them unending childhoods, and the kids there were de-aged and brainwashed into thinking this was what they wanted. See, just like Morphomon, Eosmon is not exactly an offensive Digimon. For its mission, that wouldn't really be necessary anyway. It does carry transparent panel-shaped wings, which it can spread to protect itself or the target, and in the worst case, it can send them flying at the enemy. It can also use electric shocks gathered in its palms to fire them at the enemy. Don't forget, its true strength is not its attack, it's the number of Eosmon in existence. Now, Eosmon as a champion Digimon can digivolve into its ultimate form, which still has the same name. It digivolved when a problem occurred as it was carrying out its mission, and now its transparent panels have developed significantly, and it has acquired high-speed movement with its enormous wings and high offensive power with its gigantic hands, which can be used to crush the enemy. In addition to unleashing electric attacks from its antenna, it can also create illusions that bewilder the enemy as a mirror of themselves. If it decides to rearrange its transparent panels, it can transform into its beast mode. Now, and here comes the important part. After Omnimon destroyed thousands of Eosmon, the remaining reacted to this by fusing around Menoa Belucci, digivolving together into their combined mega form, which is also called Eosmon, who by the way easily defeated Omnimon, who couldn't even get through its shields. Eosmon at the mega level is a behemoth in terms of power. It isn't a surprise. After all, it was born after several of the Eosmon that were created formed a single collective entity. Just a side note, in the Explaining DINOBEEMON Digivolution Line video, I discussed the FanBeemon collective. FanBeemon and its Digivolution line consisting of Wolfsmon, Cannonbeemon and Vespamon, who all of them serve an area called the Royal Base. And we all know that bees are always protecting a queen hiding inside a colony. While the Digimon developers never gave us a queen, the fans did give us a queen. And so in that video we discussed Queen Beemon. And when you put it next to Eosmon, you can see that they have their similarities. They are both women humanoid and they have the capacity to create many offsprings. In the case of Eosmon, it is able to generate new Eosmon at the ultimate level from its swollen tail, increasing its subordinates. And Queen Beemon would presumably also be able to generate offsprings such as Wolfsmon, Vespamon or even FanBeemon if you please. And they would probably come out of that sphere covering its torso and head. The FanBeemon line has been left at the sides, my good friends. Again, we don't have a Queen Beemon. That's why I would recommend you to watch the DINOBEEMON Digivolution Line video if you haven't already, to understand more about what I'm trying to say. I just think that Eosmon at the mega level is sort of what I would expect how a Queen Beemon would have to be officially for the FanBeemon line. But anyway, I digress. In order to defeat Eosmon, Agumon and GABUMON digivolved into their new forms. Agumon gained the Bond of Bravery form and GABUMON the Bond of Friendship. They managed to avoid and break through all of Eosmon's shields and defeat it, but those who use these forms have to pay a strong price. And if you want to know more about that price, then I would suggest you go and check the Explaining Agumon Bond of Bravery video on this channel or the GABUMON Bond of Friendship video, which can also be found in this channel. Now, while the video came to an end, I do have something to add concerning Morphomon. You see, in this channel what we love to do is dig a little deeper. Sometimes we have to do that because the Digimon developers don't always fill the many gaps, which are leaving us with many questions. Morphomon's Digivolution line was an artificial Digivolution line, right? Meaning that there was an intervention by another party, aka Menoa, who toyed with its data, creating a different Digivolution line. Now what if Morphomon were to digivolve naturally? It's actually the same question I have asked about Gabumon, who, according to its description, shouldn't even digivolve into GARURUMON. So, for Morphomon, we may not have an official natural champion form, but I think I may have found who might be fitting. Hudiemon, an insectoid Digimon based on the butterfly, just like Morphomon. Hudiemon might be in reference to Zhuangzi's dream of the butterfly, a story which serves as an articulation of Taoism's challenge towards definitions of reality versus illusions. The story goes like this. Once upon a time, I, Zhuangzi, dreamt I was a butterfly fluttering hither and thither, to all intents and purposes a butterfly. I was conscious only of my happiness as a butterfly, unaware that I was Zhuangzi. Soon I awakened and there I was, veritably myself again. Now, I do not know whether I was then a man dreaming I was a butterfly or whether I am now a butterfly dreaming I am a man. Between a man and a butterfly there is necessarily a distinction. The transition is called the transformation of material things. Now, to be honest, this story is very fitting for Hoodiemon and Morphomon as long as we don't get an official announcement of them being related. Anyway, Hoodiemon has too much in common with Morphomon, up to a point where I would go as far as to say that one was either inspired by the other or they truly are digivolution of one another, but just unconfirmed digivolution. Let me explain. Hoodiemon is a cautious Digimon at first, but once it gets to know someone it will reveal its cheerful, innocent countenance. And Morphomon also has the habit of first determining whether the one it has seen for the first time is good. Both are based on butterflies and sport blue and white colors, and both have similar stories behind their attacks. Morphomon can use its scales to either paralyze a body or to help, as the scales have medicinal properties, and Hoodiemon can flap its wings to stir up a gust that also spreads its scales. These scales can poison an enemy or paralyze them, but they can also be used for something good. The main function of those scales is to ease the pain of its wounded allies and make them feel better. So, the evidence is there to behold. Too many similarities, however there is a difference. Morphomon still is a rookie, and Hoodiemon is a champion Digimon with its own mission. You see, Hoodiemon travels all over the digital world and is said to be like a backup of the digital world, accessing records throughout the world and storing vast amounts of recording data within itself. Even if a strange phenomenon occurs in the digital world and records and memories are lost, the lost data will be restored if Hoodiemon is around. Might be the reason why its voice is considered an eternal treasure. I don't think it is a coincidence that the Eosmon side of Morphomon's Digivolution line is so heavily involved with data, and Hoodiemon here, who I believe to be Morphomon's champion, is yet another expert with data. So even on that front, there are touching points. The big difference would be that Eosmon is mindless and emotionless, only acting based on the wishes of its master, while Hoodiemon is a Digimon acting according to what its nature demands. Now, Hoodiemon itself didn't get an ultimate form, and I am doubting which Digimon should get that spot. You can always feel free to propose a Digimon in the comment section. However, I do have an idea for Hoodiemon's mega level Digivolution, namely Quantumon, a pixie Digimon, and I would say one of the greatest experts with data management and data simulation in the Digimon universe. And actually, I would go as far as to say that we have here potentially one of the most powerful Digimon in existence, and no wonder, its name says it all. Its name is a reference to quantum computing. We're talking about a rapidly emerging technology that harnesses the laws of quantum mechanics to solve problems too complex for classical computers. You see, Quantumon is enshrined in the aerial city of Lark, which floats above the vast net ocean shrouded by enormous clouds. At first I couldn't understand what this word Lark meant, until I found that it is in fact an acronym. Lark is short for the Live More Advanced Research Computer, a mainframe computer designed to run hydrodynamic simulations for nuclear weapons. So Quantumon's Lark is designed after a quantum computer, and Quantumon itself is based on quantum computing. And thanks to the expansive capabilities of Lark, Quantumon is able to absorb massive amounts of data from the net ocean, letting it simulate billions upon trillions of potential futures. This is pushing Quantumon to such a high level of intellect that I am a bit forced to start a little debate here with all of you. Who would be smarter between Quantumon, one who can absorb massive amounts of data, letting it simulate trillions of potential futures, and Ancient Wisemon, one of the legendary warriors who was once called the wisest person in the digital world? Let me know in the comment section. So not only is Quantumon smart, but it also works alongside its followers in implementing the best measures to prevent disasters that may one day plague the digital world. This is crazy, and I truly believe that it would be a fitting mega level Digimon for Morphomon. And if that's the case, then I would say that Morphomon sure has one of the most powerful mega level Digimon ever. Not only because Quantumon is smart, but also because its offensive abilities are among the craziest. It can use quantum processing to turn space into a gate, forcing the enemy into another dimension. This technique can be used to force other Digimon into a state of evasion or to dispatch them to another dimension for the purpose of their own research and analysis. Quantumon can also manipulate the flow of time, causing a quantum collapse at specific coordinates. So truly, a Digimon of immense power and actually one of my favorites. If I could have a Digimon partner, I think Quantumon would be among the choices. On top of that, why does its design seem so familiar? It's as if I know the Digimon from somewhere. Oh my god, wait. Quantumon's design might be inspired by Darkstone Gwendolyn, but that's a boss from Dark Souls that I defeated years ago. Are you trying to tell me that all the time I've been referring to Dark Souls in my videos that the developers ended up taking inspiration from that same series I've been referring to multiple times? Wow, talk about a coincidence. Or is it? Now, Hoodiemon and Quantumon have been a source for debate on Reddit. Not everyone agreed that both should be related. The arguments against it weren't solid. You can check it for yourself, the link towards the page is in the description box. But the reason why I brought up the Reddit page is because someone wrote an interesting theory concerning Quantumon. Let me quote. After watching the episode, I came up with an alternative interpretation to Quantumon, with it being the child of Yggdrasil or homeostasis. To be honest, that comment is almost pushing me to make another dedicated video to debate it. We know that Yggdrasil is based on a supercomputer, but Quantumon is based on quantum computing, making it at least potentially and theoretically more powerful or smarter than Yggdrasil. But I digress. I'm going to stop here and challenge you all to share your opinions about this in the comment section. Guys, try to elaborate in the comment section. I like to see big and beautiful and well written comments. Hi guys, this is the end of the video, I hope you enjoyed it. Morphomon truly is an amazing Digivolution line, one I had wished would be given a bit more care and attention like many other Digimon, but oh well, we still made a video discussing its official Digivolution line. What are your opinions about Morphomon's Digivolution line, and what are your opinions about its pseudo Digivolution line with Hoodiemon and Quantumon? Who would you give it as an ultimate form? Share your opinions down in the comment section. Also, make sure to drop a like to this video, my friends. Again, for the amount of work and if you enjoyed it, I think liking it shouldn't be much of a problem or a challenge. Unless you'd need some quantum computing motivation to hit the like button. Oh, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And in case you don't know, all Digimon videos are placed in various Digimon playlists which are always updated, that way you can catch up on newer and older videos.